I have raised tens, count that, tens of millions of dollars for America's entrepreneurs, including but not limited to viewers like you, yes you, my beloved, and I've got the receipts to back it. Wanna hear? Here go. This is the statement that I received from Womply showing that only funding PPP loans, which were ultimately converted to grants for those of you who deployed the capital as instructed by the federal government, $2.8 million right here. I'm telling you, I ain't lying. It's right here. And I made $34,000 right here. This is about a week of work. Okay? Now, for those of you who've been watching, this is going to take you on a trip down memory lane. And for those of you who have not been watching, you don't know, you better ask somebody. Click the subscribe button and click the bell notification to stay on top of every cash raising and making opportunity that I encounter. Right here, we got the story on economic injury disaster loan grants, pushing or encouraging Congress to go ahead and pay them out. They didn't pay out the grants at the 10K mark that we wanted for everyone. Nonetheless, they did help fund tens of millions of dollars towards America's entrepreneurs in the form of loans. Nonetheless, I gave a template for everyone to email. First off, Politico, and then they published the article. This is it, shortly thereafter. Then I instructed and gave people a template that they could use so they could email Stacey Cowley with the New York Times and showed them how Politico was covering it, right? And then, bang, we got on the New York Times. Well, this is actually an email that I got from Chairman Marco Rubio, who is like, the current Department of State right now. His assistant told me to stop having you email them to inquire about your loan programs, because I had hundreds of people emailing. Look, my name is Josh Duncan and I work for the Senate Business and Entrepreneurship Committee. I want to first off thank you, provided useful information. Legislative needs, we aren't able to help them. Let me see what it is. Our office has received hundreds of calls and web responses from the viewers of your videos. I had people hammering them with like, hey, where's my EIDL paper? Right here, right? So they handle the legislation, but this encouraged them to get more people funded. Look, real independent contractors got screwed. I'm annoying. I've spoken to Mr. Duncan on the telephone. Nice guy. I appreciate your energy. You are on fire. And then we had Stacey Cowley publicize our fight for the economic injury disaster loan grant on the New York Times paper of record. I think you already saw this, but I just finally published an EIDL piece that's been in the works for a while. We're keeping an eye on what comes of the Senate bill. These are all
an economic injury disaster loans, and the Small Business Administration hasn't had a legitimate.
The American flag, at the American flag, people would debate on whether I would hold it this way. Then I launched the Grants for Everyone series, how to qualify, where I basically told everyone, if you want to qualify for the most...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to December 7th, 2020. In this...
raising it, winning grants, etc., start a business. So you can sell something, but actually start a business. Don't just do it for the grants. I've been telling you, and I've been dropping the jewels on how to do it. And this video, as long as you watch it until the end, will show you how you fulfill probably the most important and yet critical part of operating a business, which is constantly communicating the value that you are delivering to the marketplace. Marketing right here. See right here, we got and I put this together mostly myself, amount of resources right here in terms of government grants, government contracts, grants for everyone, for individuals, hardship. Now, you know, the current grant winning climate is probably not the best at this juncture, government shutdown, etc. So, you got small business resources, 10 steps to start your business. You have to start selling something. So the most important part is the marketing, which is what I used in order to raise that money for you. Yes, you, my beloved viewer, raised 34 grand for me in a week, and other monies that I got right here. Look, $13,000 just off the ad revenue on this video. And I gave you this spreadsheet. I still issue it for free as long as you join our wait list to explore working with me. I can't help everyone. Nonetheless, go ahead and click the link. It's free to join. Leave your contact information and I'll have you in my system. But the first thing that I did was to study the popular sections. This is part of the pillar of my social media trinity that I have adopted, that I developed, invented, whatever you want to call it, formulated to ensure that I mastered the use of any social platform. YouTube is a social platform. Here is how I applied and execute the tactics that I develop in order to, by guiding myself with this social trinity, which is the study of popular sections. So at that juncture, I basically start querying. You first do reconnaissance and research on a platform such as YouTube. I did it on YouTube, which is why the video is Rise on YouTube, right? PPP, for instance. I was looking for information on PPP so I could start to gauge the videos that are welcoming traffic. Today, they're not the same videos. Before, it was like a number of people talking about, do this to qualify for PPP. Make sure you're not doing this when you're applying for PPP, yada, yada, yada. Don't forget this key document, etc. Now it's like PPP loan scammers crying after getting busted. Not you, I'm pretty sure, because I did speak with a number of you via comments, etc. You were operating legitimate businesses, right? So PPP loan scammers crying after getting busted. A number of you got money. You got paper. You were Uber drivers. You were making enough money that you were showing it on line 7 of the Schedule C, if I'm not mistaken. Now people are talking about that they're crying because they actually scammed the government. So that's the popular stuff right here, right? So if you wanted to jump on this, let's say you want to do this, you want to vlog about PPP, this may be a topic that you want to cover. I was exploring even doing it myself. It'll take me a minute nonetheless to go ahead and download these TikTok videos, but don't be surprised if I just drop a video because it looks pretty good. And it's right along the lines of what you may want to consume, because a number of you got paid through the PPP, right? So those are the two tests that whatever content that you want to model, that is our ultimate objective in this exercise. Is it welcoming more views than the subscribers of the channel that publish the video? So for instance, right here, 317,000 views, but only 295,000 subscribers, right? And over here, 236,000 views, 156,000 subscribers. So this is a high view to subscriber ratio. When there's a high view to subscriber ratio, then we take a closer look. And just take a look at the rest of the channel, see if they've got activity similar to this. This can also give you other video ideas right here. 1,000 people stranded on Mount Everest, 103, so they got 103. That's not as good a view to subscriber ratio. Who is stealing the AVT money? Expensive Smiles, Chronicles of Karen. So this gives you an idea as to what type of audience this channel is attracting. So you start to think about the type of audience that you're attracting. Are you attracting people that are on EBT, right? Pranks, Rapture Day, Rapture Talk, whatever, fired because of TikTok. Okay, are you attracting these types of people that would consume videos like this? If you are, then this topic may be for you. Yes, you, my beloved viewer, and you can post a video like this, model it. Remember, don't copy, steal. Take the raw components of this video and come up with your own way to deliver it. Now, sometimes that could just constitute you projecting and communicating whatever it is. All right, PPP scammers are getting locked up in your language, whatever you are, because no one can be better at being you than you, in the immortal paraphrased words of Dr. Seuss, right? So look, Feds just declared that's not a high viewer subscriber ratio. Nonetheless, if you take a look at his channel, all right, you may want to take a look, notes on this stuff. we can get a better idea as to whether his audience really cares about this. Feds just declared war on PPP scammers. Okay, so let's take a quick look right here. 1.2 billion Medicare scam. Houston's secret nightclub busted. 50 arrested midnight raids. $200,000 scam. So I've got a couple of tools here that you may want to pick up. I've got vidIQ. You can pay for like a premium version for $20. I have actually a deal. I mean, I'm grandfathered in, so I got it free for like a couple of years. So that's just something that came out of the blue. That's like another grant that I got because people pay for this stuff. I'm not paying for it for the next 3 years. 50 years of failed California's gang empire finally falls. So Trump outsmarts the left. This is actually another plugin, which is free, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot the name of this plugin. Let me see if I look over here. So this is vidIQ. Let me see, 1 of 10. It's right here, I believe. Yep, this one. 1 of 10. Yep, this is 1 of 10. This is it right here. This is free. So this gives you some data, which is cool. So this basically shows you the outliers. So these are the videos that have gotten more views, that have welcomed more views than what's typical for this channel. So 50 years of failure. Trump outsmarts the left. Drug bust in Tennessee, enough poison to kill. So they like stuff about gangs. The cartel's desperate money right here. I just see 2 things about gangs. So this is gangs. Cartel's just a bigger gang. Drug bust, who deal with drugs, right? Portland plan backfires instantly. So stuff about Trump as well, right? So it may not be that they have interest on PPP. ICE bus, human trafficking ring, ambush, 12 surrogate kids. That's why, he didn't welcome as much or views with a high view to subscriber ratio, right? 58,000, 122. So he has less views and subscribers because it didn't attract as many of his audience. They're not interested in this stuff right here. They probably don't even understand what PPP scammers are, okay? 20 minutes of PPP loan, nationwide fraud. So world crime chaser. This is a new. So if you have a new channel and this is like a broadly queried or a topic of broad interest, then the new channel, you don't have an established audience as yet, which that's what it appears to be. So YouTube rather, and he got banned. So I think he's stealing too much content because this doesn't look like it has any commentary or anything like that. Yeah, if you're just taking content and just showing it, yeah, look, world crime chaser. So he got banned. He got taken out because he's just basically, they're not talking about anything. You got to put the talking head in there, you talking, making your own commentary. There's no commentary going on here. They just basically took this content and aggregated. Is the video still up? That's interesting.
A lot of mouths to feed, for sure.
Smith says he was looking for ways to keep making money during the lockdown when he says...
Okay, so he got jewels and all that. Anyway, so bang, right here. So if you want to cover PPP, right now, the topic to cover right here, look. There's also Pink Book Lessons. Okay? So this is the ultimate test that you want to pass first. Ensuring that the content that you are publishing will attract people who constitute your audience. 13 million NFL rookie chases girlfriend. Cheating, she refused to leave his mansion. Boom. So let's take a look at the outliers real quick. Again, we do descending. You also check for popular. IG model broke, begs judge for $420,000 a year child support. Mexican fans in shock. Pretty privileged or pretty delusional. TikTok is roasting. She's too old to be this ignorant. Molly jealous of Stephen A.'s salary. Walks out after snubs her pay demands. She called y'all roaches. Employees blindsided. Black woman. Charleston white black. So more along the lines of what's happening to people who are classified by ethnicities. So right here. So Mexican fans shocked that Crawford makes history. So Crawford, black guy. I didn't even watch this fight. Canelo lost is a question. I don't even know what happened there. I didn't see it. So, yeah, so it looks like what's happening in the elite black community, if I'm not mistaken. Employees, Starbucks She called y'all black woman, white blast. So yeah, so like racially charged type of videos right here, right? And if we take a look, what's the video? Jamaican woman. Okay, so they try to target it. They try to make it like racially charged. They're talking about the Jamaican woman. So they're showing, all right, it's a black lady and she's involved in this $34 million PPP fraud. They got some traffic, but not a lot relative to the amount of subscribers. So we don't pass that test right here. Okay, so with EIDL, let's take a look. Now, notice that as I go through these queries, we go into like these alternate universes, right? Where's EIDL? I already had it up. That's why I want to query it. Okay, so let's just do it anyway. So EIDL loans and guarantees right here. EIDL loans foreclosure consultation. So this looks like videos of how to get through repaying EIDL. Number of people haven't paid their EIDL. My business future with a COVID EIDL bankruptcy and credit scores. He's got 707 views and 14,000 subscribers. Now, don't let this discourage you. If you have this type of service where you're helping people pay back their SBA EIDL, you may want to explore it, even though you don't see a lot of views. Because, I mean, look, 707 people. Imagine 707 people, among them, you know, even 50%, right? Or let's just say even 30%, 10%, 70 of those people, right? They're interested in using your services. Now, if you close 10 of them, that's 7 of them, right? 10%, 10% of them, you close 7 of them at your rate, you're making X amount of dollars. I don't know if you're charging, I don't know how much people are charging for this. Let's say the consultation is $100 or whatever the case may be. That's $700 you just made right there. Okay? SBA EIDL update. Credit reporting on EIDL is coming. Jason T's right here. Credit reporting. So credit reporting. And this is, it's a higher view to subscriber ratio. We sometimes can't meet the ideal where he's got 50,000 views and 7,000 subscribers. Nonetheless, the closer you get to that target, that's something you may want to take a look at, right? Visit Jason T's for more EIDL advice. Schedule a consultation. So he has content right here, right? So this is stuff right here. I may be discovering a business model for myself because I funded millions of dollars in EIDL right here, right? So bang. So a number of people that have been watching the channel for some time, Fort Worth staff let go, and my New York Times interview, Jason T's. Visit Jason T. You got New York Times too. Offer in compromise and forgiveness still not an option. So he's just giving information on what's going on with the ESBA and EIDL updates. SBA hardship accommodation update. SBA moves the goalpost again. So he's just going in on it and he's getting some views. He's getting some views on it. It's people. You know what I'm saying? It's people. Every single person counts. Understand? It's not hundreds of thousands, but it's actually a pretty competitive view to subscriber ratio, relatively speaking, because there's not a lot of traffic in this space. Nonetheless, if you're offering something like this, again, I may have found, let me know in the comments section, do you need help paying back your EIDL loans? Perhaps this is something that we may have to explore. My man Skip, new SBA EIDL default news and announcement. So he's talking about what happened with SBA. We actually got like 15,000 views on a video announcing an SBA grant back in December, right? A number of you jumped on our coaching program. Can you still go to jail for your EIDL loan, pandemic loan? So this is a high viewer to subscriber ratio right here. 2,000 views, 400 subscribers right here, right? EIDL experts, Linda and Trevor. We just saw them earlier. So this gives you an idea, okay, of what people are watching in your space. So, and it's not limited to EIDL PPP. So let's say we do, I think I pulled one up right here, AI small business. Let's say you want to get into AI small business. Some of you have mentioned to me you want to do. You want to do AI for small businesses. So we go ahead and keep taking a look. AI tools for small business, 7 ways small businesses can use AI today. Not the view to subscriber ratio I'd like, but it's closer to the ideal than what we've seen. It's not easy to find this, really. Like, out the gate, you're not going to always find videos that have higher viewer to subscriber ratios. He's talking about AI tools for small businesses. We'll see why it doesn't have a high viewer to subscriber ratio. It matches his audience, right? Brand strategy, design, and digital marketing. Personal branding. So what did he get? Well, 100,000 is not bad, right? Best LinkedIn video. But let's take a look at his outliers real fast. AI tools. Okay, so that's his outlier, rather. 15 trends in graphic design, how to become a creative director. Now, the outliers, they don't have the highest viewer to subscriber ratio on the channel, I'm sure. Nonetheless, they've outperformed the more recent videos. So this gives you a level of recency when gauging popularity of the content that this guy is uploading. Best content marketing strategy. Okay, so now let's go popular, right? The most popular videos. The only problem with this is some of them are old, and you don't want to guide or model videos based off of what's old. You want to model it based off of videos that were uploaded within the past year, ideally perhaps the past 2 years, maybe 3 years max. Right here, so 15 graphic design trends. Want to be a creative director? What does a creative director do? All this stuff is 8 years. Right here, 15 that was a year ago. 15 graphic design trends. A few months ago, even better. But let's just see how he does with graphic design. 14 trends in graphic design. He did 138,000. So let me see, graphic design trends. Let's see if we could. Personal branding, the best 15 so yeah, look, so he's getting about 1.3 views, 1.3 thousand, 3.5, and then once he talks about graphic design, it pops back up, 24,000. It's not the biggest outlier, nonetheless, there's a strong interest for graphic design. Now, many people may have grown out of it, so it's not as popular as it was back when he first posted about it, right? Best content marketing strategy for 2025. Right here, best content marketing strategy for 2025. So content marketing, maybe among, now I'm just looking through this is the most recent videos. Yeah, the recent videos. And I'm just taking a look. I'm trying to identify outliers based off of views real quick. How to become a creative director. So creative director, graphic design, there's some life there. AI tools by far, that's his biggest outlier. So he may have an opportunity to rebuild his channel off of this right here, AI tools for small businesses, right? Discussing that. And he hasn't, well, look, how to use AI to transform your brand and design agency. Now, it's kind of different because if it's for a small business, right, that's one demographic, one audience. If it's for a design agency, now that's another audience. Understand what I'm saying? A design agency is different from a small business. Design agency could be like the marketing agency that they put me up against when I was working for Nielsen, the biggest marketing agency on the planet, ate their lunch because I drove millions of unique visitors to these publications to get them sold. Only one division sold for 70 million, the rest for millions of dollars. So it's even more than $70 million based off of my work. And yeah, so that was a huge company. They got bought out by, I think it was like Condé Nast or something like that for millions of dollars. Anyway, so bang, see, he talks about creative mental fitness and all this other stuff. The audience is not trying to hear that. 15 graphic design trends again. So it's graphic design right now. AI for small business specifically could be his ticket. Okay, so, and then you keep on taking a look, right? And you see if it's an audience that you want to attract. Can small businesses survive? These 5 AI businesses will make you $1 million with 0 employees. Let's see what else we got. Harvard Business School professor on using AI to optimize your small business. Okay, so CNBC events. Let's take a quick look. This is a high viewer to subscriber ratio. 2 years old, so on the older side. But small businesses still need this stuff, right? AI for small business, it may look like something that they're seeking. Oh, my man, Kevin Durant. Not my man, but I like how he plays anyway. descending, shaping the future of live events. So this is some recent information. Let's just go for purely popular. Let's do something real fast. So I don't have, because they have a lot of content at CNBC, right? So let's do just small business. Yeah, they talk about small business. Not a lot of traffic. Nonetheless, they talked about small business with AI. That's where you got some traffic. So let me see. AI. Let's just do AI. In real estate, okay? AI in real estate. So just AI period right now. Real estate, I mean, it can also attract small businesses because most real estate agencies, or rather agents, are small businesses and agencies. But, you know, agencies could be as big as they want. But if it's just an agent, that's a small business right there. Strategy in the age of AI, yeah, small business is a strong play for them. That's what I'm noticing. So if he talks about different types of small business, then perhaps it could be something that can attract more content. Right? So you see, it's a mixture of high viewer to subscriber ratio and the audience. Then you want to see, you know, again, upload recency. There's also a metric right here, right? So take a look at this metric that I like for you to take
as a small business
through this tool, vidIQ. I'm not sure if the free version gets it for you. And I'm not affiliated with them in any shape or form. But it gives you an idea as to how fast they attract views. So boom, out the gate, the first day, look, 12,000 views right here. This may be something that I explore because I'm helping organizations with AI automations too. Doing too much. Anyway, so yeah, look, so the view velocity right here, how fast they got views on this thing. This will give you an idea of whether you're going to welcome traffic, of whether the video is going to do well based off the traffic it's welcoming or attracting. Look, on the first day, it got 2,000 views. So you're not getting 2,000 views in the first day, then you're like, maybe it's not going to perform as well. But with YouTube, you never know. They may just have not been able to identify your audience as yet, right? So you do AI business. Let's say you do, I'll just do one more for you. What other topics can we search for? Oh, let's do insurance right here, okay? Let's do life insurance, right? I know there's like all kinds of plays. A number of people with whom I've spoken sell insurance. I sent a life insurance policy. I don't know what that means. Life insurance, explain term life insurance versus whole life insurance. 31,000 views, okay? Respectable. It's not a high viewer subscriber ratio. Let's take a look to see if whether we can dissect why it's not a high viewer subscriber ratio if it's a popular topic. The thing is, we got to find first whether it worked on someone else's channel. So let me see something real fast. So let me see. This is 1 year ago. Akon breaks down how rich fans. I don't look at the shorts because shorts don't convert as well as your long form, and you can engage people a lot more effectively and for a longer duration with long form. So how does life insurance work? 219,000 views, 247,000 subscribers. This probably had a higher viewer to subscriber ratio when it was published. It just hasn't grown beyond 2019. Life insurance explained using a third grade drawing, how to use whole life insurance to get rich. Here you go. So look, 2 years ago, not that bad. High view to subscriber ratio. This is like the ideal play, you know, when you're looking for views to subs ratio. But again, you have to ensure that you're attracting this audience. You can't have a cooking channel and then you put how to use whole life insurance and expect to get a large amount of views. If it's not attracting your audience, it's not resolving their problems, then it's not doing much. Whiteboard wealth, how to use. So let's take a look at whiteboard wealth videos. Looks like they don't have a lot of videos, 23 videos, so it's easy to take a look at. Print money with cold emails, cold email manifesto. So they're getting into marketing, right? So it's different. Make you richer one sketch at a time. So let's do popular real fast. How to use whole life insurance, right? The psychology of money. So this is the only big outlier right here. Maybe this was an outlier too. And there's a way we could do that. We could check for that too. As a matter of fact, let's do it. Why not? Let me see. So you go to Wayback Machine. You go to archive.org. And we just popped in that URL right there. So we do like this. We put this work in real fast. Bang. And let me take out the parameters.
Investing. Where else?
These are cool videos too. Now, your video, don't let like nice graphics on a video that you want to model stop you. All right? Talking head videos could do just as well. I mean, you start off with something, because even if you don't welcome the high amount of views that you may want to expect by modeling one of these videos that get a higher to view subscriber ratio, then you still may get more views than you're typically welcoming, which is good. Regardless, remember, every person, every human being is important. You get 2 people, you can make a sale. I know of people, they launch a channel, they put up like they're selling an ebook, sell the ebook for like $99. They make 1 or 2 sales. That's $100, $200 in their pocket that they didn't have before uploading the video. So, bomb. And if you don't have it, I mean, you may not seem like a lot. At $100, $200, it could be the world for you. It could be dinner for that day, whatever you got to do, right? So this is taking a minute to load up. But what this will do is show us how that page looked like on June 7th, closer to when it got uploaded. So let's take a look. 8,000. Look, it had 8,000 views, or they still had 10,000 subscribers. Okay. So yeah, so it was still along the same. So it's 10,000 subscribers. What they have now? I just missed it. Let me take a look. They got 13,000 subscribers. So roughly the same amount of views as subscribers they had when they uploaded it. So that's good. They only have 3,000 more subscribers now, right? So if they talk more about life insurance, they could probably welcome more views, more aspects of life insurance, right? It depends, really. It depends, because sometimes they only want to know about one type of life insurance for now, until they grow out of it. Right? The psychology of money. Boom. So that's one way. So how to get rich off of whole life insurance. Types of life insurance explained right here. Another. But this is 9 years ago nonetheless, right? This is old. So sometimes if it's old, this is not like a hard rule, but if it's older, then it may not be as relevant today in 2025 as it was in 2016, if that time span is accurate. How much term insurance do I need? That's Ramsey. Ramsey's got a big audience. Now, just to break this down for you, the reason that we look for high viewer to subscriber ratio, I should have probably said this earlier, but whatever, for those of you who are still watching, is because let's say a guy like David Ramsey, right? He's got 4.44 million subscribers right here. This means that YouTube may not have had a big part in promoting this video because he has 4.44 million subscribers. Okay, so the subscriber base itself is so large that they see it on their notifications. Enough of them see it on notification, and bang, he welcomes 136,000 views. Ideally, if let's say he got 10 million views, then it's something to take a closer look at. But I mean, we could probably even just perform that analysis that we were conducting on the previous channels, just to try to dissect why that video didn't do as well. Let me just see. I borrowed stolen money and didn't know it. You financed a Honda for $60,000 to drive Uber. I'm $1,800 in debt. This should scare the crap out of you. Okay, so let's just do the descending. How do I tell my 75-year-old sister I can't support her anymore? How do I break the news to my wife that we're broke? We're millionaires but struggle to pay our bills. Dude, you have no money. So people in debt, people in trouble, right? Less explanatory stuff So basically just specific. It's like, the drama pertinent to one person. Unbelievable calls. These are all old. Let me see. 4 years. I don't even want to pay attention to these. They're too old. When it's that old, then see, so a number of people probably have grown out of them. Let me see, 12 years, 5 years, 6 years, 1 year right here. I'm 58 and have nothing in retirement. Okay, bang, right here. This resonated. This is only a year old, right? So this is probably something that you may want to take a look at. I'm 58. I'm tired of working, right? So a number of people, they're going through this. I get this a lot from the audience. Unforgettable calls. Why should I do with this 200 to become a millionaire soon? So yeah, so maybe this is something that I should take a look at, because a number of you in the audience, you're in your 40s, your 50s, and you're trying to build towards your retirement, build your generational wealth, leave a legacy. I'm not sure what to tell you. The 7 baby steps explain. I have $80,000 debt, only make $19,000 a year. So you see how this gives you a great idea as to the type of content that you should be uploading, right? The purpose of life insurance. There's a highlights. General liability insurance explained, $75,000. So explained, right? For general liability, high view subscriber ratio. Full show. Do you need travel, medical insurance, and warning? Avoid post disaster. Okay, only 10,000 views. What is PMI? Different types of life insurance. Now, let's see, just so you can get it. This is great because you get a great way. Well, this is old. Yeah, I'm not even going to look at that. Forget about that because it's too old. Let me see. We can go back, but it's going to just take longer than it should. Ramsey, 5 years ago, tech employee shares video of her being fired. Okay, so Inside Edition, whole insurance pros, the pros and cons, how to use whole life insurance to get rich, become your own bank, Wealth Nation. So people love this concept of becoming your own bank right here. Why the 1% never use 401ks and what they use instead. So this is about what infinite banking is and how it can work for W-2 employees. Why the wealthy borrow against their assets instead of selling. Okay, popular. Why you shouldn't use a debit card. How to turn 500 into 400,000. How to borrow against your life insurance policy. That's probably the most recent one. Okay.
Every July 1st.
How to use whole life insurance. Okay. Now, universal life insurance. Let's see. That's another one. Universal life insurance. He's talking crap about it. Literally, right? I was sold a universal life policy. Indexed universal life insurance. 2 years. So you get the idea. And then the other thing is you want to get a nice thumbnail, right? So the thumbnail, you typically take a picture of yourself, and then you can go to a tool like Canva, and you want to spend time on this. What happened to Canva? Canva is down. Canva is down. So they have a template for YouTube thumbnails, and I'm making them right here. Or you could pay someone to do it. I mean, it's worth it really, because that's what encourages people to either ignore or click on your video, right? So they have all kinds of templates right here. You simply take a picture of yourself, nicely lit, and then there's something called a background remover, right? So for instance, let's say I take a look at my uploads right here. That's little bro. So let's say right here, right? I want to add this. And I'll just, so you could see it, I'll just change the order real fast. And put this on the top right here. Bang. So if I want to remove the background, all I got to do is do background remover. Bang. I take this weird looking dude out and add this weird looking dude in. That you recognize, right? Bang. And now, look, I got a template. I could turn this into whatever I want real quick. This is with Canva. That's it. I got a thumbnail. I upload the video and I upload the thumbnail. It's a wrap. Watch the video you see on the screen right now so you can learn about every single cash making and capital raising opportunity that I face.